Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another election prediction video. This time we have Kamala Harris if she picks Governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, as her VP candidate. So I think Andy Beshear, he'd be a very good candidate. I really think he would help out in the suburbs and the rural areas of states. He would definitely lower the margins for Trump in those states. But yeah, I think he's a pretty solid candidate. Kentucky would remain safe Republican. I know some people were joking about it on Twitter. They would go to likely Republican or something. Or some people actually believed that it would go to a toss up status. One person tweeted out, and I was like, what are you talking about? But no, Kentucky would remain safe red. Again, it's such a red state that it doesn't matter. It's so polarized, it would still go red here by a good margin. But let's get right into it. So, oh, did not mean to do that. Alaska's safe red, Iowa and Ohio. These are just kind of out of reach for the Harris campaign. Don't really think they could compete in those three states. Colorado would go safe blue. New Mexico and Virginia would go about likely blue. Again, she's united the most of the Democratic base, and she'll win these states back like Biden won them back in 2020 by pretty decent margins. The states in New Hampshire and Maine, she's up by likely margins in both these states according to new polls. And Maine second even goes down to likely Republican, which is good news for Jared Golden in a House race. I think he'd wins with a margin like that. Going into Nebraska second, I think she wins it by a likely blue margin. I think Andy Beshear would help her out in suburban regions like this one right here. And it's just trending blue overall. So I think Harris will be able to take that district by over 5. Going down to Florida and Texas, I think these are likely Republican states. I don't really see Harris losing or winning them. I think Trump's pretty well favored here. Again, Latinos are just trending right in the state of Florida. And Texas, it's a more of a conservative state, and I don't think Andy Beshear is the right candidate to make it go to lean Republican. Kentucky, it's in that weird Midwestern/Southern state region here. It's in the Appalachian region, so I think he would probably help her out in more Appalachian areas in these states, which is kind of spread out. Here again, I said he would help her out in the rural areas of states, probably in the suburbs as well. But let's keep on going with the video. Nevada and Arizona, I think these states kind of remain out of reach for a Harris Beshear ticket. Maybe she could win Arizona, but Arizona's biggest issue is immigration. So that's why Trump has a slight advantage in the state of Arizona. In Nevada, Trump's no taxes on tips policy will definitely help him out in the state of Nevada, which is why I have it as a lean Republican state in this scenario. And again, some polls have Harris not doing the best with Latino voters. On average, she wins them by about 12, I believe, which is not that 20-point margin or something that that Biden won them by in 2020, which is why we might see Nevada flip this election. I wouldn't be surprised if it does, and it's only 6 electoral votes. It's not make or break for the Democrats, and maybe that's why they're not targeting as much as these other states. So let's go into the next few states. North Carolina, I think with high black turnout, it's going to go to a tilt Republican state. And I do think Harris will get very high black turnout. Again, when you have a black candidate running for president onto the top of the ticket, we see very high black turnout like we saw with Barack Obama. And I think we'll see that again. Again, Harris has a lot more energy behind her campaign than Hillary did, than Biden did. I think that's something to take into account. She broke the fundraising record. She raised $81 million in a span of 24 hours. That's energy, if I've ever seen it before. So it's actually materializing. We're seeing a lot of volunteers across these states here in the swing states. So she has momentum behind her, which is why I think she'll win in Georgia. I think with high black turnout and her picking Andy Beshear, I think he's a pretty good VP candidate, could win over those moderates. I think that Georgia would go tilt blue here. I think she's going to also just out-rally Trump. She's going to do a lot more rallies than Trump could. Again, Trump's 78 years old. He's an old man. He doesn't have that energy factor like he did with Biden. He's running against a much younger candidate who's more energetic than him. It's just a fact. So let's go into the next few states. Minnesota, it's likely blue. Most polls are coming out here showing Harris up by a likely blue margin. So she's fortified Minnesota, Maine, New Hampshire, and we're probably going to see her fortify Virginia in the next few days. So going to Michigan, this is the most likely Rust Belt state to go to Harris. I'm very confident in saying that. I think she'll do great with black voters in this state. She'll do great in the urban areas, and she'll do well in the suburbs with the VP pick like Andy Beshear. So I think I would put this state as a lean blue state. Going over to Wisconsin, I think Beshear would help her out in the rural parts of Wisconsin, just enough to make this a tilt blue state. He'll help her lower the margins Trump's will win those rural counties by. Will help her out in the suburbs, and with her getting really good turnout in the urban areas, the black voters, this is enough to put Wisconsin into the tilt blue category. Pennsylvania, it's also the same case here as it was in Wisconsin. I think she'll get very high urban turnout. Beshear would help her out in the suburbs, and I just think overall that that would be enough to win the state of Pennsylvania for the Harris-Beshear ticket. So this is my prediction. If it was Harris and Beshear on the same ticket, I think Harris wins a popular vote by 3% in this scenario. Let me know what you think of this video down in the comments below. If you agree or disagree, let me know as well. I'm always open to your feedback. And if you're new to this channel and you enjoy videos like this, I would highly recommend subscribing. But thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.